Hello, good morning. My name is Joseph Atta, speaking to you live from Ghana, West Africa. You are welcome to my program, Mining for the Truth, which refers to the process of digging to discover the undiluted doctrines of Christ, the identity of Christ. The page has two purposes as follows. 1, to share the word. 2, to share the truth. The same teachings can be found on YouTube, and the channel is Joseph Atta's Live Show. Live Show means a hall for public discussions, public lectures or discussions. Of course, it is a noun. You can subscribe, view my videos, and share. You can also follow my Facebook page. I welcome all my viewers and listeners from all over the world: Australia, Nigeria, Dubai, South Africa, India, and everywhere in the world. I welcome those Odonko, Mrs. Atta, and thank you for making the time to join me, and to all those who have been joining me. Brother Sam Kobna, you Church of Christ, Brother Engineer Lloyd Kwame Gawu, Brother Akono Mensa, and all those that I cannot mention. Thank you for viewing my video last week on the fourth prophet and exegetical analysis of Matthew 7 verse 15. The video has been doing well, and thank you for your support. Without wasting much time, I couldn't promise you any teachings last week, because of my laptop. Now, if I have the laptop, it's when I can promise that I'll come away with this or that. But thank God, I got someone's laptop to type. So the theme is building Christian families. Building Christian families. Genesis 2 verse 8, verse 20b to 24. The topic is the role of the father, mother, and children. Ephesians 5 verse 21 to 25, verse 28, verse 31, and verse 33. The same Ephesians 6 verse 4. Then 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. So theme is building Christian families, and topic is the role of the father, the mother, and the children. Today will be an introduction. This one will be in chapters or episodes. So today I'm just going to do the introduction. So you can say an introduction. So today we're not going to tackle any objective or any of the objectives unless next week then we'll start with objectives. Okay. The family is a divine institution. But before that, let me read the Bible quotations before we move on. Not all may read. So Genesis 2 verse 8. First book of Moses, of course, the Pentateuch. Genesis 2 verse 8. I read. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. We go to verse 20b to 24, which means we don't need everything. But for Adam, there was not found a helper fit for him. 21. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. Then the man said, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Verse 24 being the last verse. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So that is the building Christian families. Now we go to the text assigned to the role of the father, mother, and children. Ephesians 5, verse 21. Ephesians 5:21. Ephesians 5, verse 21. Okay. To 25, verse 28, verse 31, verse 33. So Ephesians 5:21. Submitting to one another in the fear of God. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ also is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. 28. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Verse 28 has ended. So 31. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and will be joined to his wife, and the two will be one flesh. Then the last 33. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife even as himself, and the wife must see that she respects her husband. The same Ephesians 6 verse 4. And you, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the discipline and admonition of the Lord. We go to 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. Very good, I'm here. But I want you to know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. So having said that, we can start our introduction. The family is a divine institution designed by God to meet man's needs. To meet man's needs. So Adam was alone. Need and not want. Adam was alone. So Eve was a necessity to Adam. As we read in Genesis 2 verse 8, 20 to 24. God was the center of the first couples and still centers Christian marriages. In marriage, God is the center. We had Adam, we had Eve, and then God was in their center. And by correction, I made mention of the Christian family. Even Jesus Christ is not a Christian. However, the teachings is for everybody. But when you hear of a Christian is a follower of Christ, disciple of Christ, and property. Christianos, the enios means property of Christ. So here you're making reference to a home governed by God. That's the sense of the building Christian family. So the home is ruled by God, from Christ to the husband, the wife, and the children. So Christ rules the husband rules the wife rules the children, not the husband to rule Christ. We mean a husband who does not respect Christ, and also the home where the wife rules the husband. It is in the form of a hierarchy: Christ, man, woman, and children. So the husband will take orders from Christ. The wife will also take orders from the husband. The children will also take orders from the wife. So it means that the husband, the wife, and the children, they all take instructions from Christ. We move on. So we say that God was the center of the first couples and still centers Christian marriages. So this is not to contemplate that when you are doing a wedding and there's a minister, it could be a pastor or preacher there to help grace the occasion, it is wrong. No. There's no way we can now invite God to officially come and then chair our marriages. So he has his own delegates. Christian marriages, society suffers when homes fail. When you are moving about, all the indiscipline, the social vices, where do they come from? They come from the homes. If all parents have trained their wards well, it will be so difficult for you to see a different child or different human being in the streets. So we think that society suffers when homes fail. And now it is true. If you go to the media, you see that the world is officially corrupt, as if we are in Sodom and Gomorrah. Of course, go and listen to my teachings on profanities in terms of a euphemism, and then you hear a lot. From the beginning, God's plan was for one man to be joined to one woman for the duration of a lifetime. So marriage is one man, one wife. Adam, Eve. Adam did not marry two. And there are some kind of superstitions that Adam had a wife before Eve. My friend, the Bible is complete. And of course, you are an antichrist. You are not sensible than God. In fact, God is wiser than Satan. Now, if God is wiser than Satan, then how much more you being a mannequin to Satan? So we think that God is always wiser than Satan. And therefore, whoever is also worshipping Satan is equally not wise. And it is pride. That's why some people are debating that the Bible has some lost books. Whatever we need are found here. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 10. When that which was in part became whole, then was where the miracles and tongues ceased. Because nowadays, we don't need any miracle. We need no tongue speaking to confirm the word. Now the Bible is complete. No new doctrine. One man, one wife. We are saying this to debunk all theories that research has indicated there are more women to men. Therefore, the men must. My friend, you will die and go to hell at the end. You sit down there and then debate. You are not wiser than God. No discipline. No academic book is wiser or it's about the Bible. And I learned the Bible than any other book. And this is what you find in every sensible man's life. When you go to his house, at least the person has a library, having more books. We're not saying don't read, but he must have a Bible. One man, one wife. For the woman who has a husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he lives. But if the husband dies, she is relieved from the law of her husband. Romans 7 verse 2. Now let's see something. Romans 7 verse 2. Oh, very good Romans. For the woman has a husband. For the woman who has a husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he lives. However, if the husband dies, she is released from the law of her husband. So, in terms of wanting to remarry, except for fornication, that's one. And even that one, you must see to that you are not or you were not a contributing factor. Some have intentionally pushed their spouses to go out there to sin. When you divorce this person, equally you are also a sinner because you are a contributing factor. So in general, one, fornication. Then two, death. So when the husband is dead, when the wife dies, is when you can marry again. So far as he lives, for example, your wife can vanish, can run away from you, or the husband can travel to an unknown country in this world. You must stay single until you die. When you marry, you are a sinner because you have, the husband is not dead. The wife is not dead. The wife has not fornicated. The husband has not also fornicated. So if you don't know, your wife has vanished away. Your husband has also traveled to whether the person is dead or not. So far as you have no confirmation or no evidence, you must stay single. You must live faithfully before you can go to heaven. And I'm talking to Christians. I'm not believers. I make reference to Christians. You see, for the believers, because the Antichrist, when the wife cannot give birth for some duration, he goes to marry another one. And there are times too also on the side of the woman. They are all believers. Of course, you die and then go to hell at the end. Alright, we move on. Home and family are serious matters to both the Father and the Son. We mean God the Father, God the Son, Jesus Christ. Home affairs, the affairs of the home are serious matters to both the Father and then the Son. So Jesus said, Matthew 19 verse 6. Matthew 19 verse 6. Matthew 19 verse 6. Therefore, they are no more two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. This was from Jesus Christ. That's what I said. And Jesus said, this was from Jesus Christ, the Master. And he used this to condemn or to disprove Moses' law. Christ gave laws to Moses to be given to the Israelites only. When the Master was there, the Master is above the servant. Christ created Moses. Moses is not above Christ. So when Christ came, they tried to confront him with laws of Moses, and he had to correct them. He had to correct them. So when you are two, when the two are now one, no one should separate. It is within the home that the man and his wife find love, companionship, and also satisfaction for sexual desires. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2 to 5. Of course, I'll read everything. First Corinthians 7 verse 2 to 5. Okay, I read. However, in order to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Verse 3. Let the husband render to the wife due affection, and likewise also the wife to the husband. Verse 4. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise also the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Verse 5, being the last. Do not deprive one another except by agreement for a time, so that you may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, so that Satan not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So therefore, we are saying that if you can't stay alone, you marry. And you don't marry for sex. Of course, I have to do some correction here. Whoever bases his or her marriage on sex will collapse. But here there's an option that, because of fornication, have your own spouse. The husband must not deny the wife, and the wife must also not deny the husband. Once you are married, sex is nothing. Marriage gives license to sex. To avoid fornication, except you are fasting. You see, during the fasting and prayers, the two must remain pure. But afterwards, the sex should continue, because they are married and they have license. So I think this is clear. God intended children be brought into the world and be brought up in a family with a father and mother with a father and mother. It takes two to tangle. It takes two to tangle. If you want to go afar, go with somebody. It takes two to tangle. Two are better than one. Two are better than one. So I repeat, God intended children. You understand? God intended children be brought into the world and be brought up in a family. In a family with father and a mother. So that the two can affectionately prepare the child from youth into adulthood. And by social studies, we read that most of the social vices are coming from broken homes. So the child has no father, he has or she has only a mother. And you are also aware that not all women can properly train children. So when the mother is alone training the child, that one is even worse. However, we have many fathers who also spoil children. But by average, when we find average, women spoil children than men. And he said that the two must raise. For example, if your children are females, it is wrong for a man to see the nakedness of your own daughter when she's a teenager. There are some preparations in which the wife must carry out. For example, when she starts to ovulate, how can a father officially go to the washroom with her daughter to teach her how to put on tampon? No, it's wrong, you see. So this is the duty of the woman. And from then onwards, the woman will have to teach her proper hygiene. This was not meant for men. So it is women's work. However, we have some instances when it comes to a discipline of this same female child. This is the work of the man, because mothers are user-friendly. Because they see them always, they go down with them wherever they are at the kitchen, so the children tend to give them less respect. However, the man is supposed to teach them to respect equally the wife as they respect him, or she respects him, the word. So the disciplinary aspect belongs to the father. So you see that each has a role to play. Each has a role to play. The mother teaches this girl child household chores, how to work, how to cook, this and that. Then the father will also do his. And beautifully, they can all walk to town, to beach, for excursion and the whole. It takes two to tangle. We move on. Now, point B. Christian families are built on commitment. One must be committed. My father taught me, I was then somewhere 15 years, that marriage is work. Marriage is work. I didn't understand. Of course, I saw my father helping my mother in so many ways. So I learned. Pounding fufu, preparing us some lunch, supper, even breakfast, a whole lot. So as I was growing, then I understood what my dad told me, that marriage is work. Committed work. The wife and the husband must all be committed. Christian families are built on commitment. If you are not committed, it means that you don't even love your spouse. Love goes with commitment. Absolute commitment. There must first be commitment of life to God by both the man and his wife. They must be committed. That's why I said that Christ is the head. The second is the husband. So Christ rules the husband, the wife, and the children. And I also mentioned that children, wife, husband are under the umbrella of Christ. They must all listen to Christ. The husband takes information from Christ and pass on to the wife. The wife will listen and not hear. She listens and passes it on also to the children. So if you have to have morning devotion in the morning, all the family must be packed. Then we'll do our morning devotion. So simple, and then we depart for work. On weekends, if we intend to go out for evangelism, we all go, except that maybe the mother is a nursing mother. But when the child has grown, sometimes you all go together. So commitment. It takes much commitment to the happiness and well-being of the family members to build a strong Christian home. It takes much commitment, It takes much commitment to the happiness and well-being. Happiness and well-being. Because if you're not happy, how can you live well? If you are not happy, how can you even impress your spouse? So commitment to the happiness and well-being of other family members to build a strong Christian home. Okay. Wow, we move on. So we can also move on by saying that the in-laws must support this new couples. Other family, you understand? Because the man is from a family, the wife is also from a family. They need their support. They are young in this marriage business. Selfishness is the enemy of commitment. Selfishness, self-centeredness is the opposite, is the enemy of commitment. So this means that whatever you want someone to do for you, do likewise. I think Luke 6 verse 31. Let's see. Luke 6 verse 31. I want to check. Of course, we are learning, so I have to read. In case I'm wrong, then I can search for it. Luke 6:31. Do to others as you would have them do to you. So do unto others as you want others do to you. So do not be self-centered. Do not be selfish. Selfishness is the enemy of commitment. Once you are selfish, you care less. Your spouse is ill, you don't care. Sometimes you even assume that the person is lying, trying to pretend. Especially when you don't have money. You call him or her a rich or wizard. So many names. This means that you are selfish. Here is when you have to show care to this person. Be in his or her shoes. Christian families are strengthened by our service to God. So the family must render due service to God. Christian families are always in attendance at the services of the church. They must be punctual and regular in church meetings, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. Hebrews 10 verse 25. They must be there always. Missing even one church service or one Bible class you could attend sends the message to your children that Christianity really is not so important. Yes. The father is watching football match. The mother is also watching a movie or some kind of a series on TV. They are all preoccupied, or they are fidgeting with their phones, and they will forget that it is time for church. Your children are learning from you. The moment you give birth, then you see that your end has come. Your beginning has started. So giving birth means beginning and end of you, the couples. Once you have given birth, then it means that you now have someone to succeed you, to imitate. So now you become a mentor and the child becomes a mentee. So the person, even the language that the child will speak is from the family. So whatever you do, the child learns. So if you start absenting yourself from church meetings, then the child will also copy and see that, oh, even it is not compulsory to go to church, because he or she learned from the parent. That's what we read from Hebrews 10 verse 25. Now see, we are still on the introduction anyway. Christian families are nurtured by appreciation for one another. Be appreciative. When your spouse buys you something, appreciate. When he or she cooks, appreciate. Buy him or her gifts. So the children appreciate the parents also appreciate the children or the child. Appreciation. Be grateful. Show gratitude to whatever the family member will do. I remember this also, that for example, you are a man and your child, precisely a girl child, has reached somewhere 10 to 12 years or maybe 8 years. She starts to prepare food. And you know, sometimes it is interesting that you come back from work or you are there doing that, and then she goes to the kitchen, prepares some food, and then serve you. We don't know whether you have to smile to eat or to disfigure your face. We mean that your wife is a better cook, and comparing her taste to this your daughter's, you see that sometimes if you are not careful, but we are advised not to utter a word. We smile, we eat, you encourage her. This is appreciation. Now when you discourage her, that will be her end. Why is it that she even had a desire to cook for you? She needs recommendation. She needs you to applaud her. So you eat it, and of course you must eat all. And then in future, even I, for example, I don't like to comment. I would say I don't like a comment. In my nature, I don't like to criticize. You cook and cook and cook and cook, and there's no way I will say anything. Unless maybe she wants to ask some question. Daddy, you cooked the food that I cooked last time, but yours is this and that. Why? Oh, I did this and that. You see, we are not saying that when there's a mistake, don't correct. But do not discourage her. Try to be appreciative. That's what I'm saying, that Christian families are nurtured by appreciation for one another. Your son has polished your shoe. Your son has cooked an appreciation for the mother. The mother must not depreciate it. The need to be appreciated is one of mankind's greatest needs. Even in love, you give love, you expect it to be reciprocated. From Abraham Maslow's theory of needs. You give love and you expect to be given back. Husbands, wives, and children all share this common need. So this has been explained already. Our goal should be to express appreciation to our spouses, children, and parents. Even the parents, we have to visit them. Sometimes they will also visit you. Some want to cook. However, if you don't want the food that they're cooking, that one you have the right, based on health issues. And maybe you don't want any future influences. We have men who will decide that I don't eat anyone's food except my wife. They are there. We have some wives who will also say that I don't eat anyone's soup or food except my husband. So if you are in-law in this home, at least now you know the relatives on the ground. Do not trespass to bring problem, because the husband will not eat, the wife will not eat. They are in their home. You are there as a visitor. You do not dictate for them to follow. You will listen to what they are saying. So if you want to cook and eat, you cook and eat. The kitchen is for them. They will also cook. However, ideally should have been united. I mean, it is so good that the whole family plus the extended will sit by a table and then they will eat together. Of course, it depends on the choices of the individuals. So we say that our goal should be to express appreciation to our spouses, children, and parents. So the parents here also could be the mother of the home, and not necessarily the outside parent. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, Do also to them, for this is the law and the prophet. So even already you have read it. Luke 6 verse 31, Matthew 7 verse 12. Expressing appreciation is simply the golden rule in action. People, you see, at times like Christians, they recite the Bible quotations, they don't do exegesis. We didn't know that the golden rule is equal to expressing your appreciation. So expressing appreciation is simply the golden rule in action. That's all. Do unto others as you want others do unto you. Period. D, being my last intro. Christian families are maintained with kindness. Show compassion. Show compassion no matter the offense. Try to be considerate. Be kind. Feel for others. Have a compassion heart. Your spouse may offend you and will make you so annoyed. Please, you must still find time to forgive. Temper justice with mercy. We mean soften the punishment on the part of the children. Your child may sneak out to a party. As they are going, they grow, no matter how you train them. They want to redefine their own life. So when you see some people out being defiant, you don't always blame the parents that they didn't train them well. No. Some were brought up, but when they were growing, you see, once when you go to Proverbs 22 verse 6, that train the child the way he or she should go. From infancy to some point, and from point to the child will have to decide on his or her own. For example, when she wants to marry, and you cannot coach her by force, do this and that. Only that the child will have to be reasonable enough to follow the pattern of the family. So by all means, the child will offend you. And you say that temper justice with mercy. Though you're going to punish the child, but soften the punishment. Kindness is an essential quality for every Christian family. Ephesians 4 verse 32. Ephesians 4 verse 32. Ephesians 4 32. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God in Christ has also forgiven you. None is perfect. We are all sinners. We are all offenders. By all means, you step on someone's toes or shoes. Learn to say sorry. I am sorry. This will not happen again. What can I do to avert the situation? Learn to be forgiven. A person who is gentle, warm, caring, and understanding will build up their family. So you must have these qualities. Gentle. When you say gentle, you mean meek. What are the gentle? It's not about wearing a suit, or you can say a coat, knitting dress with a nice shoe and pants, having tie or bow tie or no. When you go to Genesis 34 verse 1, going, the Bible is saying that when Dinah was raped, Jacob held his peace. Jacob was gentle, and the word gentle there means meek, someone who is soft. So be soft, be warm, be caring, be understanding, and this will build up a strong Christian family. Husbands are especially admonished to avoid harshness. Simple courtesy and tenderness are necessary for strong families. Colossians 3 verse 19. From Ephesians, we go to Colossians. Ephesians to Philippians. Colossians, sorry. So Colossians 3:19. Husbands, love your wife and do not be harsh toward them. And do not be harsh. The word here is harsh. Harsh. Don't be harsh towards your wife and children. Not only the wife, even though the Bible is saying wife. I can add that even the children. The wife and the children form part of the family. You must not be harsh. This doesn't mean that don't reprimand. When someone does something wrong, you must reprimand, but temper justice with mercy, soften the punishment. Too much harshness is error. And when you are coming home, they are all running away. Do you call yourself a father? That your wife even fears you. For what? You are a human being, she's a human being. Why must she fear you? For what? Now we come to 10 Christian family, some 10 things that Christian families must have. So Christian families must, 1, practice being friends. In the home you are all friends. The husband is a friend to the wife is a friend to the husband, the mother and then the father are friends to their children or the child. So practice being friends. And once you are friends, you share things in common. 2, listen to each other. Have a listening ear. The wife, the husband, and then the child. Sometimes your child. And mommy, when I went to school, the teacher was trying to hold my breast. Pay heed to what she's saying. Go away. You are a child. You what do you know? Are you a woman that your teacher? This does not matter. This is being a pastor or whoever he is. You have to listen to what your child is saying and then take the necessary action. You can start with some kind of investigation. Listen to each other. The husband must have a listening ear to the wife. No matter what you are doing. The moment she chips in something, try to listen to it. Not that I am superpower. When I speak, it's final. No. And so also to the wife. She must also listen to the husband. You're watching TV and your husband wants to share some ideas with you. Off the TV. Don't lower the volume. You have to off it. You off this TV or program or movie and then you have a listening ear to your husband. Number 3, love one another. Love one another. Number 4, spend time together. They must spend time together. Now, mobile phone is good. TV is good. Wi-Fi is good. Technology is good. But has also caused segregation. You go to the home where there's a Wi-Fi, the husband is in the toilet, the child is in the bed, in his or her bedroom, the wife is at the kitchen, the husband is also at the hall. They are all busy with their phones. So mobile phone has come between them. How do you spend time together? They don't even have time. Sometimes they'll be in the same house and they'll be chatting themselves. Then you there and you see that, mommy, is food ready? So you see that the child is in her room or his room, texting the mother to verify if food has been prepared. It is wrong. You must all finish your chores in the home, sit together and watch the movie. The wife does not cook at the kitchen for the husband to sit at the hall to watch TV or to read useless news or to watch useless news and programs and then movies. Go to the kitchen and then be helping her. When she's faster, you can all sit together and then the children are in the middle. 7, as an wall. So the parents are safeguarding the child. Then you all watch the movie. Those who will lean on you will lean on you. Those who will sit on your lap, some will sleep on. So togetherness. Spend time together. If you want to go out, then you can also have time to go out for fresh air and then others. Now, point 5. Have strong commitment to the family and to God. God first. If you read Matthew 6, verse 3, seek ye first God first. Have strong commitment to the family and to God. So the two must go together. Never ever underestimate God in your marriage. The marriage will becomes a situation whereby the wolf has entered the sheep. Then the flock will scatter. Number 6, be kind and tender-hearted. Be kind. This all has been explained. Forgive one another. So forgiveness. Point 8, appreciate each other. Number 9, help the other family members to go to heaven. So this could be the extended family. In Africa, we don't marry and then practice nuclear family system. It is wrong. Sometimes you are a Christian, so you have to extend the good news to your in-laws. They are believers, so they must also see the light. Then the last one, number 10, be strong to build strong churches. You see, when the family is strong. Now, if you go to any church in which they are not healthy, it means the families are also not healthy. When I read the Bible in my home with my wife, as I'm doing, if 10 of the church members are all preaching on weekends, do you think that you will see rampant sins? You will see it. So in the home, the man is preaching as I'm doing, maybe with my wife, and we have about 95% of the congregation doing the same thing. We build a stronger church because each family is God oriented. God first. So at least per day they read the Bible. So this should tell you that the collapse of many churches are as a result of the couples not praying for the church, not learning the Bible, and not winning souls for Christ. Christ gave himself for us that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. Titus 2 verse 14. We are to be the zealous. We must have a zeal to do that work. Simple. And this is the essence of a strong family build a strong church. There must be the desire to say the Bible and not always making money. God first, not money first. God first. And having said that, this is the end of the introduction. Because next week I will start with objectives. So I will mention all the objectives and then we will take the first one to teach. So next one will be our homes need Christian husbands. That's all. That will be our first objective. Our homes need Christian husbands. Proverbs 23 verse 25 and then Ephesians 6 verse 4. Our homes need Christian husbands will be our next topic. Having said that, thank you so much for making the time to join me. My name is Joseph Atta. My number is 0248 026557. I'll catch you same time next week. But don't forget to subscribe. You can view the videos, you can share. Please comment because we are all learning. I also need to learn from your responses. It is based on your responses that I can also correct my errors. Until then, I attend Church of Christ. So see you next time. Bye bye.